And when they stoned Stephen as he was calling on God and saying, Lord Jesus, receive my spirit, then he knelt down and cried with a loud voice, Lord, do not charge them with this sin. And when he had said this, he fell asleep. Now notice chapter 8, verse 1. Now Saul, or Paul, was consenting to his death. And at that time a great persecution rose against the church that was at Jerusalem, and they were all scattered through all the regions of Judea and Samaria except the apostles. And devout men carried Stephen to his burial and made great lamentation over him. And then notice verse 3, as for Saul, he made havoc on the church, entering every house, dragging off men and women, committing them to prison. So again, great persecution arose. And here's the thing, God would use all this for good. It's easy to look at this and say, what a horrible thing. If God is in the sky, why did he allow this to happen to his church? Well, God had already told them to take the gospel to Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and to the ends of the earth. They really weren't taking it too far out of Jerusalem, though. Judea was hitting a bit, Samaria barely, and God wanted them to take it out to the ends of the earth. And here's the thing, if God calls you to do something and you don't do it, God has ways of lighting fires in your life to get you out the door going to do what he's called you to do. And we need to thank God for that. So this scattered them out, and something that maybe the enemy, cheered on how I'm getting them, God was using for good to get them out. Because again, as you begin to read through Acts, then from this day forward, we start seeing again, the gospel just spread rapidly, even to where this letter is being written to those in Ephesus, again, throughout all of Turkey, which was called Asia at that day, and again, really the known world as they knew it. Again, as these things are going on, Saul himself is identified as making havoc on the church. And that term there, to make havoc, in the Greek, it is the term used for a wild boar. We're kind of familiar with some wild boars around here. They can do a lot of damage. They can destroy a lot of crops. I compare a wild boar to really the tank of animals. I mean, they're built like little tanks, almost, impenetrable skin and so forth. Their heads are like boulders and so forth. And they just go out and they just wreck stuff. And that's a picture of Paul here. He just went out and began to wreck the church, though again, the Lord was using this for the glory of God. Because even Stephen, losing his life, and no doubt these that Saul was persecuting, again, bringing them to points where their lives were even taken from them at some point, this had an impact on Saul. Because here's Saul thinking he's zealous for God, and what is he seeing? He's seeing some people more zealous for God, willing to be persecuted, willing to, again, lay down their life for the cause of Jesus Christ. And on both occasions when Paul shares his testimony, he talks about this. He talks about laying those garments at Stephen's feet. And maybe Stephen, again, at that time, who knows what's going on in his mind? He says, Lord, forgive them for what they're doing to me. And maybe, some are looking, saying, oh, man, he would have had such a great ministry. But in his death was really, again, an impactful ministry, because Stephen had a hand in Saul coming to Christ, and Saul who would be used by God to lead so many others to Christ. So we kind of see a ripple effect in these things.